I know that this problem is categorized under stacks on HackerRank, but it is not necessary that you use the stack data structure to solve this problem. To be very honest, when I first read this problem, I thought I could attack it using a greedy approach. Just find the minimum of the two elements from the stack and then proceed ahead. But unfortunately, that method failed. I guess you are also facing a similar problem. Ultimately, I was able to find a very easy way to solve it. If you want a quick solution and just want to see the code, refer to the link in the description below to my GitHub profile. However, if you want to see some animations and visuals, how this technique actually works, stick with me a little longer. Hello friends, welcome back to Study Algorithms, a place where I make programming fun and easy to learn. Today, we would be solving the problem Game of Two Stacks on HackerRank. First, I will describe you the problem statement and explain you the test cases. Next, we will see why the greedy algorithmic paradigm fails in this problem. Going forward, we will try to come up with an efficient solution to the problem, followed by a dry run of the code. So, without further ado, let's get started. Let us try to understand the problem statement first. You are given two stacks, stack A and stack B, and you are playing a game. What you do in this game is you pick up any stack and you choose to pop an element. So let us say I choose the first stack and I pop one element, that is the element 4. Next, let us say I choose stack B and once again I pop an element, so I get the element 2 this time. Whenever you are popping elements, you also need to maintain a sum of all the elements that you have popped. So right now you have popped 4 and you have popped 2. Next, let us say I choose my stack A again. This time I would pop the element 2, so I add it. When you are popping these elements, you need to calculate their sum. So right now the total sum is 8. What you need to do is you need to make sure that the sum of all the elements that you have popped should be less than equal to the maximum sum value that is given to you. So right now the value is 8. That means you can pop more elements, right? So let's say I choose my stack A once again, and this time I will pop the element 4. So once I pop the element 4, my value becomes 12. So you see, we have exceeded this max sum. That means we cannot pop this value 4. So right now you could pop 3 values, right? So if you played your moves in this game like this, you could achieve a score of 3. In this problem, you need to find out what is the maximum score that you can achieve. You can easily guess over here that, okay, if I would have chosen the stacks in a different order, then my score could have been different. For example, let me just reset this. Let us say this time I choose element 4 from stack A, then 2 from stack B, then 2 from stack A, and then 1 from stack B. So the total sum now would be, and that is equal to 9. So you could see that we were able to pick up 4 elements this time, and this time our score was 4. So in this problem, you can have many combinations of how you are picking the elements. And you have to find out that given the value of max sum, what is the maximum number of elements that you can pick? In fact, for this test case, this is the answer. That means you can pick a maximum of 4 elements. In any other combination, either you will exceed the max sum or the number of elements that you have picked would be less than 4. So now if the problem statement is clear to you, feel free to try it out on your own. Otherwise, we can try to jump into the solution. You might notice that a brute force solution to this method would be very difficult because your stacks could be very large and the value of maximum sum could also be very large. Then you would have to find out a lot of possible combinations to actually arrive at an answer and say that, hey, okay, these are the maximum number of elements that I can pick. So what is an efficient solution to solve this problem? Let us look at our test case once again. As soon as you see the problem, a very obvious thought must have come to your mind. In fact, the same happened with me. You are looking at these two stacks, right? And you want to maximize the number of elements that you're choosing. To choose the maximum number of elements, you need to sum up very small numbers, right? And one approach could be, okay, look at the top of these two stacks, pop the minimum element, and then proceed ahead, right? That seems very obvious. So let us try to do that. So out of stacks A and B and the elements 4 and 2, I see that hey, 2 is smaller. So I pop out element number 2. Next, I would be comparing element number 4 and element number 1. Once again, 1 is smaller, so I would pop it out. Next, I compare 4 and 8. This time, the number 4 is smaller, so I would pop out 4. You can see that the sum of all these elements is still less than the maximum sum 10. So I can go on until my sum of all these elements exceed the maximum sum, right? So once again, I compare 2 and 8. This time I will pop out element number 2. The sum turns out to be 9. I can again compare 4 and 8. This time, as soon as I try to pop out 4, the sum now becomes more than the maximum sum, right? That means you can just stop over here. And you didn't have to pop 4 from the original stack, right? So you see, we were able to pop 4 elements. And hey, that matches your test case. Did I get the maximum score possible? It feels so, right? But when I submitted this solution, a lot of test cases failed. I couldn't understand what was happening. It turns out that this is a greedy approach, and sometimes a greedy algorithmic approach doesn't give you the right answer. Let me show you one test case where this greedy algorithmic approach was failing. I explored a little and tried to form a test case where greedy algorithm was not a good one. So let me try to apply the same approach in this test case now. So I have these two stacks A and B, and once again I will start comparing the top elements. So this time I have the elements 5 and 5 in front of me. So what do I do is I just pop one of them. Let us say I pop this 5. Now I would be comparing 5 and 5. Once again, both of them are same. So I pop out this 5. Now I compare 20 and 5. 5 is smaller. So I would pop out 5. You see that the sum is 15 right now, correct? So we can proceed ahead. Now I compare 20 and 15. You see that 15 is smaller. So I pop out 15. The sum changes to 30. That means I can proceed ahead. So I would be comparing 20 and 30 now. Out of these, 20 is smaller. I try to pop it out, and hey, the sum exceeded my max sum. It is 50 now. That means I couldn't pop 20, and hence I would put it back into my stack. What do you see over here? You were able to pop 4 elements, right? But is this the maximum score? Well, if you find out all the combinations via a brute force method, you will find out that there is a possibility where the maximum score can be even greater than this. Let me show it to you by resetting this problem. To achieve the maximum score, what you would have to do is first you pop out 5 from stack 1, then 5 from stack A, then you pop out 5 from stack B, then you pop out 20 from stack A, and then you pop out 5 from stack A. So you see the sum now is 40, and hence you cannot pop out more elements. But if you count the number of elements that you have popped, those are 5, right? And hence this is greater than the number of elements that you could pop out from a greedy approach. So this is why a greedy approach would fail in this problem. And hence we will need to find out another efficient way to solve it. Let us see how we can do that. To come up with an efficient solution to the problem, let us take up our test case once again. You have two stacks A and B, right? Try to think about this problem one step at a time. What would happen if you had only one stack? So for a moment, let us say that stack B did not exist at all, right? you just have stack A and you have a value of maximum sum. You need to find out how many elements that you can pop. So what would you have done? You take up an element 4, the sum is less than max sum, so you take up another element that is 2, right? So you take up 2 and you try to add it. The sum is still less than the max sum, right? So what you would do again is you again take up another element, right? And you will try to add it. Now the sum becomes 10. It is still less than the max sum, right? What you can do again is you take up the next element and you add it. Now our sum becomes more than the max sum, right? So what you would do is you would put back the element number 6, right? So if you just had one stack, then the maximum score that you could get was 3, right? Now think like this. When would an additional stack be helpful? An additional stack could be helpful when you could remove one of the elements from stack 1 and pick up any other element from the new stack, right? So let us bring back our stack number 2. But how do you take advantage of this? What you can do is you can put back one of the elements from your stack number 1. What you can do is you can put back one of the elements back in stack number 1 and you can try to bring in elements from your new stack. Then it could be possible that, hey, I could use up more elements. So this time I will take up one of the elements from stack number 2. So I took 2. Now my sum is 8, right? Since the sum is still less than the max sum, I can bring in more elements, right? So I will try to bring in the next element. So I try to bring in 1 again. So now you can see I achieved a sum of 9 and that is with 4 elements. If you try to bring in more elements from stack 2, if I bring in the element 8, once again we are exceeding the max sum. So we don't need to bring in 8 and hence we can follow this approach. So you see, we were able to pop a total of 4 elements from these two stacks. And this is the maximum number of elements that you can pop. So to solve this question, you can follow this general idea. First of all, just ignore that stack number 2 is even present. Try to get all the elements from stack 1 and then try removing one element from the first stack at a time and try to get the elements from second stack. Once again, try to reach the max sum. Once you have reached the max sum using both the stacks, that will be your answer. Now, let us try to do a dry run of this code and see how this is working in action. On the left side of your screen, you have the actual code to implement this solution. And on the right, let us once again take up our test case. So we have these stacks in a form of list as given in the question. So first of all, what you do is you initialize a result variable that will store your final result. You have a stack 1 count, that means the elements that you're picking from stack 1, a stack 2 count, that means the elements that you're picking from stack 2, and the total sum, right? You also notice that the parameter maximum sum is passed in as a parameter to the function. So next, as we discussed, first of all, get all the elements from stack 1. Just try to add up all the elements until your sum reaches the maximum sum. So in this scenario, you would be picking the elements 4, 2, and 4 from stack 1. So the value of stack 1 count changes to 3 because you picked up 3 elements, right? And we just say that, hey, if we had one stack, our result would have been 3 because you could pick up only 3 elements. Now we will try to use the elements from the second stack. So what we do is we try to add the elements of stack 2 to our total sum. And we then increase the count st2 count plus plus. That means we added one element from the other stack, right? But right now we did not remove any element from the first stack, right? So if our total sum is greater than the maximum sum, I will remove one of the elements. So if our total sum is greater than the maximum sum, as in this case, what we will do is we will remove one of the elements from our total sum, right? So this time I removed the element 4 and At the same time, I will also reduce the count of stack 1 because we reduced one element, right? This loop ends, and now we will see that, hey, did this change my actual count? Now we have two elements from stack 1 and one element from stack 2. Right now this does not change. Fine. This loop will run again, and this time we will try to add the element 1 to our total sum. We add the element 1, we increase the value of stack count, and the total sum is still less than the max sum, right? So we do not remove any elements from stack A. We again verify, hey, does stack 1 count plus stack 2 count greater than the previous count that we had? This time we know that we have a total of 4 elements, right? So we update this value. This loop will run again for all the elements, and ultimately when this loop ends, we return the result. The time complexity of this solution is order of m plus n, where m and n are the lengths of both the stacks, because there could be a case that you are iterating through both the stacks at least once. And the space complexity of this solution is order of 1. That is because you are not creating any new data structures to find your solution. I hope I was able to simplify the problem and its solution for you. As per my final thoughts, I would just like to say that whenever you're solving some problems, never limit your thought potential to the topic that you're studying. For example, this problem was categorized under stacks. So don't just limit your thought that, okay, hey, I just have to use the stack data structure somehow. Sometimes it is easier to come up with solutions with different data structures. So it is always a good idea to think out of the box. What other methods did you try to solve this problem? Or rather, what methods did you try and what problems did you face? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I would love to discuss all of them with you. You would be also glad to know that a text-based explanation to this content is available on the website studyalgorithms.com, a pretty handy website for your programming needs. Check the link in the description below in case you want to read more. As a reminder, if you found this video helpful, please do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This motivates me to make more and more such videos where I can simplify programming for you. Also let me know what problem do you want me to solve next, or rather, what do you want to learn next in general. Until then, see ya.